Do we live in a simulation? This is a claim emerging from prominent thinkers, innovators, and philosophers, in particular individuals known for their skepticism toward the concept of God and realms beyond our senses. It's ironic that they entertain the idea that we might be living in a world created by a programmer, but will ridicule the notion of a deity. It seems we've gone full circle, from God creating us in His image, to technocrats creating a God in their own. Furthermore, how often have scientists dismissed the idea that the universe was created in a mere 7 days, yet are perfectly comfortable suggesting that the entire universe came about in an instant with a bang? It often appears that the ideas we entertain are not born from objective inquiry, but rather from contempt for prevailing norms, especially when these ideas venture into realms beyond our sensory perceptions. I believe we often like playing contrarian, because it helps regulate our ego to think we might know something others do not. Yet it's quite evident that modern science has strayed far from the realm of empirical reality, constants, and certainties, intertwining itself with greed and power. Perhaps scientists have grown keen to fill in for clergy, now desiring both a church and a lab. I myself am an odd cat, a sensitive empiricist perhaps. I keep one foot in the world of cold, hard facts, and the other in realms extending just beyond my perceptions. While I love a good rational explanation, I'm equally captivated by mysteries that seem beyond the reach of science. Increasing sensitivity, in my opinion, is the ultimate goal. It's about seeing the world in HD, high definition and high discernment. So whether it's a lab report or a religious text, I say, bring it on. The truth, after all, is often more fascinating than fiction. So I'd like to engage with this notion of the simulation theory and offer a challenge. Like many, I've noticed patterns in our world that seem far from random. Yet through reason and observation, I've arrived at a different explanation. I'd like to address two types of synchronicities, those that are within our control and those that would seem are without. Or perhaps we could say external versus internal. We, as a species, are living in an era of hyper-organization, further driven by our hyperconnectivity. The extent to which we resemble each other is unprecedented. Observe any city from space, be it Tokyo or New York, and you'll witness neuron-like patterns emerge in how centers of industry and roads interconnect. This similarity is not coincidental. It's entirely emergent from the human minds that fashioned it, like the patterns in a leaf mimic the branches of a tree. So in the external world, the synchronicities and coincidences we often encounter are in reality byproducts of the intricate social systems we have constructed. Most of us are far removed from the primal struggles of surviving in the wild, battling the elements, or fending off wildlife. Our concerns are more nuanced, often disconnected from these fundamental challenges of existence. Consider that for those still living in such conditions, I assure you, life bears no resemblance to a simulation. For them, the experiences of life are intensely palpable and real. In contrast, life in modern metropolises creates a different perception. Here, we find ourselves increasingly detached from the raw, unfiltered reality. We exist within a self-constructed matrix, a pulsating network of life where millions commute, adhering to a structured rhythm, 5 days of work followed by 2 days of rest. The typical 9-to-5 cycle epitomizes this pattern. Cities and towns, these human constructs, serve as barriers distancing us from a substantial layer of reality. They are metaverses, if you will. I argue that what we experience in the civilized world today is indeed a simulation, but one of our own making, grounded in the physical realm, not a metaphysical one. As humanity evolves into a more collective, hive-like existence, the emergence of uncanny patterns becomes inevitable. Yet, there are patterns in our personal lives that seem to defy such systemic explanations. These are the recurring themes and events in our lives that persist, regardless of our efforts to change course. In observing For the complete podcast, find it free of charge on clearpillphilosophy.com. If you find this content valuable, please consider leaving a donation while you're there.